All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com, and welcome to Night Moves for Friday, November 28th. We said that Thanksgiving is the biggest sports betting holiday, but it really is Black Friday that might be the biggest sports betting holiday. We'll get you ready for the action here on Friday. We're starting early with big time college football. There's an NFL game we'll stick in there as well. Black Friday special at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, and an important game at that with the Bears and the Eagles. But it's rivalry week in college football. We're going to start it off with some college games as well. Also, NBA Cup, one last day here. Let's see who's going to make the NBA Cup tournament playoff. So that's going on. We've got a big hockey schedule here as well. And what else? Well, maybe a couple college basketball games we'll find in there. I think we might limit our college basketball coverage here on Night Moves, but we'll look at maybe the two biggest games, and maybe if you have a suggestion or two, we can throw in another one or two. But great college card with some tournament action. But I thought there was two games that kind of stood out. So, hey, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Thank you for joining me here, and we'll get ready to go with the action here on Friday. Should be a pretty good game, a pretty good day of sports. But hey, it was a great day. We're not gonna spend too long on a recap here with so much action going on. But obviously on Thursday, NFL football was center stage here with the 3 games on Thanksgiving, and hopefully it worked out for you with those games. How about the Packers over the Lions there, 31-24? The Packers looked every bit the part of that team that plays so good as a road underdog, 18-8 last 26. The Packers you know what? Maybe Jordan Love is a quarterback that thrives better in a controlled environment rather than the outdoors. Let's get him on the road, maybe in the playoffs, and find himself in some other situations other than frozen Green Bay. But Williams, a huge day for the Lions, but it wasn't enough as the Packers look strong behind Love and his 4 touchdowns there. Big win for the Packers over the Lions. And a great job by Green Bay in that one. Brought home a couple of prop winners in that game. Also, Cowboys beating the Chiefs 31-28, and Cowboys, can you believe the world that we're living in here right now with the Cowboys coming off consecutive wins over the Eagles and the Chiefs, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, and here they are scoring a bunch of points. CD Lamb, a huge game, 112 yards and a touchdown. Cowboys, not bad in that home dog role. They get it done in that one. Hey, we had the game there with on Night Moves with the over with the Chiefs and the Cowboys here yesterday, and DeAndre gave you the Cowboys here on the show. He also gave you Green Bay yesterday, and he also gave you the clean sweep as he had the Bengals over the Ravens. And I was liking what DeAndre had to say there in that one. The Ravens, though, didn't do themselves any favors with turning the ball over 5 times in the game. So Joey B was back, and he got to eat the turducken there at the end, as he had 262 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bengals win for just the second time in their last 10 games there against the Ravens. The loss snaps the Ravens' 5-game winning streak that they were on, and there obviously is some type of problem there with Jackson last night. He seemed to be hampered a little bit by injury there in the game, it looked like to me. Heading in there. So was the Bengals with the win? Hey, they're not done, but really that might have been their game of the year, it felt like there yesterday. Also, college football gave you the winner here again. DeAndre gave you that winner with Navy as he swept the football card with us, and I had the under for you there as we gave you the side and total. With them, Navy beating Memphis 28-17 as Navy clinched at least a tie in the AAC. DeAndre said they could secure that there, and they did so in typical Navy fashion. 60 carries, 200 yards. Memphis led the game, and Navy shut them out in the second half. So pretty good job there by Navy there. And see what you guys are up to in the chat, and we'll get started right away here on Night Moves. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the show. Timmy Two Shoes saying hello, hi, ready to go. Send and figure it out. He says it's all NHL today. I'll try to get through the whole NHL card. Settle in. Could we be here for 2 hours? Are you ready for it? I don't know. I'll try to keep it going as fast as we can here. We want to make the previews at least complete enough to make a video out of it and have some good comments about each game. But there's just so many great games today on Friday. It's one of the biggest sports betting days of the year, it feels like here. Cowboys D rocking there yesterday. And let's see, Ron Jeff is here as well. Thank you, Ron Jeff. Good to see you in the chat. All right. Yeah, some good college basketball certainly there yesterday. Michigan State, man, gave everything they had there. Yeah, we had the under here on Night Moves yesterday, and the Spartans win there over North Carolina. We had some other winners here on the show as well in well, our college basketball card was actually kind of limited there yesterday, so maybe I owe you guys here, but let's get to it, huh? Let's start with the National Football League here, shall we? And get right into the big game here, it feels like today. All right, here we go. Let me call it up here and bring up our first game with the Bears taking on the Eagles here on Black Friday. Hey, get your remote ready. You can order everything on Amazon that they flash on the screen and take care of all your shopping while watching the game. Here, has anybody ever, when you watch the games on Amazon there, you ever click on the advertisement on that once or twice, seeing a good product? But let's talk about this one here with the Eagles here, favored by a touchdown here. And I'm not going to say it's going to be a letdown or anything here. The Eagles are still rocking here. They never lose at home right now. They've won 15 of their last 16 games coming into this one. And for the Bears, they're 8-3, looking pretty strong. I mean, come on, these two teams have the same record right now. The Bears have won 4 in a row, 8 of their last 9. Who'd have thunk it? That we'd see the Bears here rocking not only with the defense, but the offense as well with Caleb Williams. This is still not a great role for the Bears. They're 15-22, last 38 as a road dog, 10-15 ATS coming in off of a win, but it just feels like it's a different Bears this year, turning the corner, if not have turned the corner here, heading to the postseason, unless a disaster strikes here right now. And we did learn some other things there, not only about maybe those survivor pools on Thursday with the Ravens losing. You know, the Ravens didn't really lose that much ground. They're still better than 50% chance of making the playoffs. They actually have a better chance of making the playoffs than the Chiefs, according to most metrics here. But for the Bears, it's going to be hard for them not to see them go ahead and continue on right now. I mean, they're the 3 seed right now here, and the Eagles are the 2 seed, of course, trailing the Rams. So it seems like a lot of points to be giving a team that's right behind you in the overall conference standings. I mean, that's how well the Bears have played so far this season. So they're not a certainty to get in here because of that rugged division. I mean, the Lions losing there, that certainly didn't hurt their chances here. The Lions fell to just 50% now to make the playoffs there after the result last night. So still an important game for the Bears. And yeah, the Eagles maybe have had some offensive challenges here, but they've still won 4 of their last 5. Close games, no doubt. 4 of their last 5 games are decided by how many points or fewer? 7 points or fewer, actually. The Eagles are a great home favorite, 18-13, last 31 ATS as a home favorite, but just 4-8 against the spread when coming in off of a loss. As everyone knows, the Eagles last week, like I just said, with the Cowboys, remember it was 21-0 in that game, and it was the Eagles' biggest blown lead of this century when they ended up losing that game 24-21. The Eagles have won the last 6 in this series and gone 5-1 against the spread in those games. The Bears have lost the last 3 trips into here by 8 points, 28 points, and 43 points. The last 4 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Let's hear from you in the chat and see what you have here in this one with the Bears and the Eagles. The Bears are just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 overall in that series, including those games that I just talked about there. I think it's actually 5 out of 6. Let's hear from you in the chat before I mess it up here. And appreciate everyone joining me here for the long show. But we're going to try to get through as quick as we can. Here's Timmy Two Shoes. He likes the Bears in this one. And he says, Caleb, he's toughening him. He's getting tougher, right? He's toughening. Hey, winning breeds confidence. That's all I can say about that. How about getting it to Cole Kmet today? We saw Kmet, head to the tunnel. I can remember him heading into the tunnel just a few weeks ago. But Loveland probably is going to get majority of the action, it feels like, at tight end. And the other thing is, I think the Eagles, I've got them number 2 at guarding tight ends so far this season. Look, the Eagles have a very strong matchup. It's just that the Bears have made such strides here. I mean, I can't ignore wanting to take these points, and I want to take the Bears here in this one. They're certainly playing well enough. Like I said, yeah, the Eagles are going to be hot. They're going to be mad as all heck. But it's hard to ignore what the Eagles here, what the Bears here are doing spread-wise right now, and straight up as well. Winning 80 your last 9. A team that basically isn't winning games by more than a touchdown here. I got to take the Bears in this one. Timmy Two Shoes says, what about Goddard here? There's no doubt. It's going to be hard to find spots that the Eagles aren't looking that good here. They look like a great matchup. If you kind of look at the metrics, I think the Eagles are still probably supposed to win and cover, but I think the Bears have made too many strides right now. And I'm going to take them here against the Eagles. All right. I think that's it from you guys in the chat in this one. Thanks a lot. We're going to move on to some college football. We're not going to be delaying here very much, to be honest with you. And we're going to look here first at the Egg Bowl between Mississippi and Mississippi State. Going to go over about, I think I got 4 or 5 big games out of these big Friday rivalry games, and this certainly qualifies. Why can't we play this one on Thanksgiving night? That'd be all right by me, but we did have the NFL game. So, all right, let's get into this one, though, with the Egg Bowl here. This one's at noon Eastern and 9 Pacific, and Ole Miss is favored by 7. And the total here is 63. Yeah, it's not 43.5, but if you're experienced with this series, maybe it should be. Now, I get it. I mean, Mississippi could light this up here. I mean, after all, they are a touchdown favorite. The move has been a little bit to Mississippi. It opened about 8, and now down here to 7. But if anything, it's mostly got to be based on the series history between these two. I mean, Ole Miss is probably much the best here of the two teams, but this series in general, it's just a tight series every time, always low scoring. In fact, 8 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under in the Egg Bowl here. And Mississippi State has always done a nice job in covering the games here of late, even when Mississippi has been the better of the two teams. Mississippi State has actually covered 5 of the last 7 meetings, including 1 push. Now, Mississippi State has gone over in 4 of their last 5, but come on, it's 62, 63.5. I got to go with the under here in this one. Now, I think Mississippi State also is perfectly live here to cover in this series. Now, again, this is another one where I think if you just looked at the overall talent and the way teams are playing, I mean, Mississippi's won 12 of their last 13, although they've covered just 4 of their last 6. They've won 4 out of the last 5 in this series, and Mississippi State has lost 6 of their last 7. But it's almost easy to say, throw the records out the window, but it does feel like in the Egg Bowl, this has always been the case. Even when one team has come in well above the other, it seems to go the other way. Ole Miss has won, like I said, 4 of the last 5 in the series. Rebels are 4-1 straight up and 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 visits to Starkville. But I'm going to go with the under here, but I think I might find my way here to the Bulldogs as well. Bulldogs, so just 5-14 as a home underdog in their last 19. Might sweat you off of it a little bit. Mississippi State has gone over in 4 straight games, and look, they got a capable quarterback and Chapin, but they're struggling here right now, having lost 6 of their last 7 games after that 4-0 start. In the last 4 games, Mississippi State has allowed 45, 35, 41, and 49 points in their last 4 games. Meanwhile, for Ole Miss, they've averaged over 33 points in their last 4 games. They did have, I didn't count, I think they had a game in there against a non-D1, but I didn't even include that. So Chambliss has done a great job getting in here and being the man at quarterback. Under Kiffin, the Rebels are 27-21 against the spread as a road favorite. That's a whole nother story that could be a distraction for Ole Miss. I mean, it probably is the headline of the story, but I think we're, here on the Night Moves, or at least with me, I'm kind of more about the nuts and bolts. I know I love to tell a good story and a good sidebar, and Kiffin is all that here today. So Ole Miss is 3-0 to the over on the road this season, but I'm going to go under with Ole Miss and Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. Mississippi's 6-1 in conference. Mississippi State's 1-6 in the SEC. But all right. And Timmy Tushu says, hey, it might be good enough for him as well. Look, I love to be that guy and pick an upset here, and maybe this is the spot where I'd love to do it and just say, look at me. I'm going to respect Mississippi here. I may still play Mississippi State, but my official play will be on the under. All right. Next up, we go to some from good old Nebraska. Good old Nebraska. Remember the old racetrack, Axar Bend was Nebraska spelled backwards. There we go. Let me get this one right. So we're going from eggs to corn here for sure with Iowa. taking on Nebraska here. Iowa 5-3 in the Big Ten right now. Nebraska 4-4. Hawkeyes, they been playing some close games for sure. They're just 2-4 in games decided by 5 points or less. They come in here 7-4 overall right now. Iowa 10-4 last 14 games as a road favorite. 11-5 against the spread last 16 conference games. Can Nebraska get anything going offensively, though? Here would be the question. And Iowa's games aren't quite Iowa-esque like we saw a couple years ago, and every game was a super low-scoring game. But this one could be. Iowa's won 9 of the last 10 games in this series. They've also gone 6-0 straight up and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 visits into Lincoln. But maybe it's a little different with Rule, although he is 7-11. Or Nebraska's 7-11 in their last 18 as a home underdog, but Coach Rule in his career 14-8 against the spread as a home dog, although he's been a poor proposition so far since taking over at Nebraska spread-wise anyway, with an 8-15 record in conference games against the spread so far. Nebraska's gone over in 7 of their 9 games against Division I opponents. Nebraska will have, be kind of up against it here at quarterback in this one. The injury bug has kind of crept in here to this game right now. Raiola, of course, has been out here for several weeks, and they've had a freshman quarterback in there so far. So it's been a little bit of a problem for Nebraska here of late, but we'll see as Iowa comes in here still as a modest favorite at -6, and the total here 39.5. So we'll see what you guys have. Maybe if anything in this one. I don't know if there's much from you guys in the chat with this game. So maybe I'll just make my call here, and I'm going with the under once again. Give me the under here in this one with Iowa and Nebraska. The black shirts are ready to hang their hat with the defense in this one and try to stay within the number. If Raiola was in there, I don't know how much it would affect the spread, but that's long gone. And still for Iowa, can they have enough offense here to cover on the road? Obviously, they do own this series a little bit right now, and maybe that'll help them as they are favored by a touchdown. I'll go ahead and take the under with the Huskers hosting the Hawkeyes. All right, we're going to head down to Georgia, looking for a soul to steal with Georgia taking on Georgia Tech. This one's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so it does say there VA. It should be VS, but you know what I mean. Let me fix that here real quick. So this one's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Maybe that's closer for, but at but Georgia's going to be the home. Georgia will have the fans here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah, there'll be Tech representation, but I think the Georgia fans will outnumber and out cheer, if you will, I think, here against Georgia Tech. Now, they are 2 touchdown favorite, and Georgia does come in here on a 7-game winning streak. They've won their last 3 by more than this. They've won by 20, by 25, by 32 points. Of course, we remember their only loss, of course, was to Alabama. So Georgia's still making their push. How good of a seed they can get in the tournament here. And for Georgia Tech, hey, they've got a lot on the line too, coming in at 9-2 in this one. Hey, doesn't affect their conference standing here, but they've had an incredible season with Haynes King here, give them a chance to win every game. But man, they've got to stop Georgia. That's going to be the hard part. It feels like here is slowing down the Dogs in this game. Man, I don't want to say that 2 touchdowns is too many because I'm not sure. Uh, Georgia might not be stopped at all in this game, and Georgia Tech certainly has a chance with King to put up some points even against Georgia. Maybe the neutral field helps that a little bit. I don't know if the crowd is going to be enough to weigh. I'm just saying that there'll be more Georgia fans. For sure here. Georgia's only 9-20 in their last 29 games as a favorite here. So the Dogs are also just 9-20 against the spread. Their last 29 coming in off of a win for Georgia Tech here. They have lost 2 of their last 3 after that 8-0 start to bring them a little bit down to earth here. But under Coach Key, Tech is 9-4 against the spread as an underdog, and the Yellow Jackets are 11-5 against the spread coming in off of a loss. So let's see what you have here. Georgia's won the last 7 meetings, but Tech has covered the last 3 between the two. The Dogs, however, have won their last 12 games at Georgia Tech, covering 11 of them. 14 points. Georgia's not going to get stopped. I'm going to take the Georgia Bulldogs here to win and cover in this one. Maybe, if you like Georgia Tech, maybe the team total might be a way to go, because I think Georgia's going to put the hurt on them here a little bit. I'm a big Haynes King fan. Who isn't, right? But for me, I think here I'm just going to prefer Georgia to keep rolling here right now. I think they still want to keep impressing here at this point. You can't name your score against a team like the way Georgia Tech has been playing here, I guess, right now. But they've certainly dominated this one. Georgia 5-2 ATS in their last 7 games overall coming in here right now. So give me Georgia here in this one. The Tech's covered both times as an underdog this season, but I'm going to take the Bulldogs here. Georgia Tech has gone under in both their games as an underdog this season, but all right. And could they rest their start? Oh, I don't know, Timmy, man. You think in this big game they'd look to rest some players here? You got some big things ahead if you're Georgia, but you also you go to Georgia to kind of play these guys a little bit. I know there's great games in the SEC. All right, and Timmy says, maybe we know what the committee's really doing here. They try, I think sometimes, and maybe they're not doing it as much this season. We've only seen 4 releases so far. Of course, with the bracket for the playoff for the committee. But in years past, maybe they've tried to create a little bit of drama. But I think now with the 12 team, right, it's a little bit harder here. There's a little bit of controversy in there, maybe at the, who gets the bye. But all right, we got to keep it moving here right now. And let's go to got to go to this one with Texas A&M taking on Texas here on Friday. And you got A&M coming here, putting their undefeated record on the line here against Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. Yeah, it's, for all the woes and all the doubts and all the question marks, and hey, maybe there still are a few. It doesn't feel like it's going back the other way anytime soon for Arch Manning. Now, this will be a great and a huge test, and we're looking forward to it here on Friday night with Texas A&M coming in undefeated, number 3 in the country, and Texas ranked 16th, 8-3 overall. But hey, they've been so solid at home. They never lose at home. They've won 8 straight at home right now. They are 0-2 straight up as an underdog and failed to cover in both those. Actually, A&M 3-1 against the spread on the road. It's actually the area that they actually do cover because they are just 5-6 overall this season against the spread. Texas has been terrible to the number, actually 3-8 against the spread coming in, covering just one of their last five overall. But A&M just 5-11 ATS dating back to last season. So, look, with a rivalry like this, you got to look a little bit at the series history where Texas has won four of the last five. But believe it or not, this is the Aggies' first trip into Austin in 15 years because these two kind of been separated for a little bit. So under has come in four of the last five. They have played a few times at College Station within that time, but Texas comes in, like I said, haven't won five of their last six games coming in. Under Sark, Texas 2-5 against the spread as an underdog, but he is 9-5 in his career as a home underdog. Is Sark. Texas just 19-25 in conference games against the spread. Texas has gone over in three of their last four. A&M's gone over in five straight conference games here, and their last six games against Division I opponents, they threw a non-D1, I think, in there, but they've scored 31, 34, 45, 49, 38, and 31 points. So, but they do give up plenty of points, and the way Manning is going right now, he's finally, hey, when he was getting out there, yeah, there were some slow points for sure. There were some points where you're like, hey, the name on the jersey says Manning, but he's still Cooper's son, right, and not a son of Peyton or Eli. But right now we're starting to get what we want, what we expected, and what we wanted from Arch Manning. It may be too late to do too much about it, maybe long term this season. Although, hey, 9-3 right now. If you can get a win here over the undefeated A&M in conference, getting their first conference loss. Texas comes in here 5-3 in conference play. A&M just 5-7 against the spread. Last 12 as a road favorite, and the Aggies also 11-15. Last 26 ATS coming in off of a win here. So, man, can you believe it? I'm going to take the Texas Longhorns to win this one and knock off A&M and keep their or really to hand them a key loss here in this one. They're getting obviously a field goal here, and it could come down to that. Maybe A&M can still get this win. I mean, not going to fault them here. They've won them all so far. But I'm going to take Texas with Manning. Look, I was on Manning early, and I took my lumps. Definitely had some losses with Manning here. And Reed is awesome. I mean, you guys are talking about him in the chat all season long. And why couldn't Reed? Why isn't he considered more heavily here for the with some of those other? He's considered. I mean, he's up there. Let's see here. Timmy Two Shoes going to play Texas and some Manning props here. All right, Timmy's feeling the same way I am. Again, I'm going to take the Longhorns here. Make it a thriller. Maybe A&M still gets some money, but I'll take a field goal here with the way Manning has played here of late. I'm going to take the Longhorns. And I'll look at one more on this nice Friday college football card, late night, with the Arizona Wildcats taking on the Arizona State Sun Devils here in Tempe. And, you have this one. Arizona's moved to a favorite here by 1.5 right now, and the total 48 in this one between these two teams. So, look, for Arizona, they come in here with a record of 8-3. ASU's 8-3. Arizona's ranked 25th, and ASU is ranked 20th here right now. But you have the 25th ranked team favored. Maybe the advantage is at quarterback here. You think for Fafita. Arizona State's having a few issues here with quarterback play of late. They've had to kind of move on from Sammy Levitt here. So, they still have a capable here quarterback going in Sims there. He's got 775 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 picks. But, Fafita's got 2 years basically of experience here. Arizona State comes in 6-3 currently here in conference play. ASU is 6-2 so far in conference play. Both teams, like I said, 8-3 right now. So Arizona, they do have a little bit more defense, I'm sure, here of it in this one. Arizona, however, just 10-13 against the spread, last 23 off of a win. They've gone under in 3 straight here. Both teams are pretty solid unders, although Arizona is 3-1 to the over on the road. ASU's 1-3 to the under as a dog, and Arizona's 2-5 to the under as a favorite. Of course, the Sun Devils have won 6 of the last 8 in the series. In fact, Arizona's just 1-5 straight up and 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 visits into Tempe. The overs come in 10 of the last 13 meetings between these two teams right now. So let's see what you have here in this one. Arizona lost last year's game here 49-7. It was at Arizona, at Tucson. Arizona State was a 7.5 point favorite and easily got the money in that game. But Arizona's having a much better year right now this season. So, all right, it's me and Timmy tonight. He's my guest analyst. He likes Arizona State. He wants to think it'll be a big, happy, cheering home crowd to knock off Arizona here in this one. And man, I kind of want to side with him here, but I just think of the series history here. I'm going to take an over in this one between Arizona and Arizona State. I think the Sharps are actually preferring the under here in this one, and I get it, but I'm going to go over in this one with Arizona on the road. I think they will have trouble stopping them a little bit in the end, and may end up in a shootout here, and it could be some volatility here that could result in one of the teams getting a late victory. Obviously, a closely rated game here. It was a pick 'em or so, and now we've seen it move to 1.5. So, all right, I think that's it for the college football games I'm going to look at here tonight. There's some other good games too, and I'll have some picks up over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can get my premium picks over there and the premium picks from all of our crew at Tony'sPicks.com. I'm coming off a pretty strong night here. Let me bring up the website and let you know what's going on over at Tony'sPicks.com. I'll be firing away here in college football. Also, I have some NFL props coming off a pretty good night here last night. Let's see what we had. We had plenty of props. I went big on the props. I had NFL props every game. Also, we had Stanford, Minnesota under there. I swept the props in the late game there with Brown over on his rushing attempts. I even wrote it up. I think he finished with 15. I did say in the write-up, I said I'd ladder his attempts here. I thought it'd go as high as 15.5 at plus 175. I think he ended up with 15, however. Also, Jackson here under his completions. I did say last night, I said Lamar's completions had gone down in 4 straight games, and he will be limited here physically. I said it, and that looked to be the case. I said that means he won't run as much here. He may have the attempts, but his completions have been going down big time. I said Chiefs here, but I meant the Bengals, of course, just a typo there. But also we had Mark Andrews over in receiving yards. Yeah, it did take to that last drive, but Andrews did get there as well. I said Andrews had gone over 45 yards in 7 of 8 games versus Cincinnati. So you see the write-ups, too, that I give out there. We also had a couple winners here with Worthy over 3.5. It did take to the second half there. And we also had Rasheed Rice over 77.5. That was, I said here, I like Rice to smash his yardage today, and he did just that. And early on, I had Emmanuel Wilson under in his rushing and receiving today. Said that Love will be going to Dobbs, Watson, and Wicks here. Did they ever go to Wicks, right? There, and Watson and Dobbs. They all had a good game. And I said that'll limit Wilson's chances here a little bit. And let's see, I think I had one more other good winner. Was Watson over in his receptions. Yeah, he got 4 there. I said expect him to get on track. Also a winner with Bonaventure in East Carolina here. I said go under 143.5. I said, because they did kind of trend, or the model may have looked over to some people here, but I said ECU's turnover issues and inconsistent scoring, and well, we saw that for sure. So head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and check me out over there. You get some quality write-ups here a little bit, try to give a little bit of insight into what I'm thinking with these. So, hey, they're not going to win 100%, but try to give some information you can take with you as well. So I think when you subscribe to my picks over at Tony'sPicks.com, going to get some good picks and some good winners. I think on the day I was 9-3 there yesterday, or let's see, 9-4, right there, top of the list here at Tony's Picks. Let me be on top of the leaderboard for once. DeAndre coming through there, 3-1. Higgs had a good day as well. And let's see, DeAndre came home with some winners there. You see his games for tomorrow there. He had the Cowboys there. Great. Yeah, how about DeAndre? He gave you that pick on the show for free yesterday, and it's part of his package there. Also, he had Rutgers over UNLV. Man, UNLV back to the drawing board here. He also had Creighton to rock there over Oregon yesterday. Good job, DeAndre. Go over to Tony'sPicks.com and check us out. Our premium picks here on Friday. Okay, that's gonna do it here for the college action. I've got more action coming up here right now. Man, we're just halfway through the show. If that, I've got action coming to you next in the NBA Cup. And we'll be updating the standings here a little bit right now with in the NBA Cup, but we got a lot of games here today to talk about, and also try to see which team. This is it right here for the NBA Cup. We're going to find out which teams will advance into the bracket. Yeah, let's get rolling here right now in the NBA Cup. Let me cast aside the college game there. All right. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. First up, hey, I want to say, oh man, Wayne, hello, Wayne. So nice to see you in the chat. Oh man, what a pleasure, Wayne. Doing a great job. Thank you so much for stopping in, man. Been a long time, and me and Wayne, we're like twins, the Scott brothers. Thanks, Wayne, for stopping in. Good to see you here in my chat today. I'd love to have you on, man. It'd be really, really great to talk some sports and sports betting with you. Really proud of what you've done with your work over there. Thanks, Wayne. If that is you, it could be other Wayne, but I gotta think that's our guy, Wayne. All right, and let's see. Hey, Mr. 4600 is here. He's talking about the maybe why would that Eagles game consider their on the under in here with that game? Is it because of the when you say slow, right? Is it slow because of the Eagles kind of their downturn offensively? And look, everything was looking swimmingly when they were ahead 21-0, right? You were like, they got it to Brown early, so you're like, remember even the broadcast was saying, oh, it's good to get Brown involved with everything, all the drama and everything, and well, it just went south after a while. So all right, oh, thank you, Wayne, that's great. So I think that's the thing in that with that one, Mr. 4600. uh, as far as the potential of that total there. And look, this one's a modest at 45, right? The Bears are doing both offensively and defensively, and the Eagles are certainly bringing some good defense too. I kind of stayed away from the total at least here, but I do have an opinion on the total. All right. Let's keep it moving, though, here. I got to get into this, you guys, with the NBA Cup. We're previewing every game here, it feels like, tonight. I'm taking it easy on the college baskets tonight. Maybe we'll just, like I said, I'm looking at the two big games here at the end of this segment. Maybe we can find it. There's a lot of good college games, too, but I'm going to have some premiums in college basketball tomorrow. Let's just say that. All right, here we go. Let's go to the NBA Cup and see. We know these teams aren't going anywhere in the NBA Cup, but we're going to preview it anyway with these two. So let's get into it. These are two teams here from Group A, and they both have been eliminated here. So I think we'll spend just a tad less time on these teams that don't have a chance here in the NBA Cup, at least for today. But hey, Washington coming off of a win, man. They finally won one here, beat Atlanta last time out to kind of stop that dreadful losing streak. But going up against, we shouldn't even be previewing this game with a billion games on the card here. So maybe I should just make a pick and move on with it. Both teams coming in here with just 2 wins so far this season, 2-15 here right now for the Wizards, and 2-16 right now for the Indiana Pacers. So, well, you could almost flip a coin here in this one. It'd probably be the total's 239.5 here in this one. And look, I get it. I mean, these two teams are pretty sorry here right now, and maybe it would be a game where you could see this one. I don't think it's going high here. Actually, I don't want to pick a winner in this one. It'll probably go over here. I know it seems like they could be two inept teams here right now, but you look at what these two teams are doing. Washington is 11-6 to the over so far this season. Indiana does trend as an under team, but they are 5-3 to the over. I'm going to go with the over in this one. Let's just get on with this game here. We don't need to preview this one. What was I thinking? I think I was just typing in the games there to get every game in there. Good. Thank you. All right, let me get going here with the other games on the card today in the NBA Cup. All right, this one for sure is a big deal. Both teams are still alive here. The Bucks maybe a little bit in the driver's seat with the in the point differential, and that's really the Heat does come in here at 3-1 to lead Group C. The Knicks are 2-1. The Heat have a point differential of plus 49, so the Knicks would really have to crush the Bucks, but the Bucks are alive too with a 2-1 record. The Cavaliers do lead the rankings of the top two teams by 7 points in point differential, and the Cavs do play here in the next game. So just to go over it here, I think actually I missed one of the first game. I'll go back to it. I didn't mean to start with the Wizards game there. I kind of have the order mixed up here, which sucks because I'm trying to explain the breakdown of the teams, although all these games do start at 7:40 Eastern and 4:40 Pacific. So the Knicks are probably third, really, when you look at the mix of teams in the East and you're trying to determine unless there's a blowout by one of the super blowout, the winner of this game, and they still need to win and kind of outscore what the Cavaliers do, and they are considerably higher favorite in their game against the Hawks. So I think we can tie these two games together here, and even though I've screwed up the order a little bit, I think that helps explain it. The Knicks come in 11-6 overall. Milwaukee still just 8-11. They're on a massive losing streak, don't forget, coming into this game, but they do play pretty well against the Knicks. Of course, their situation has to do with their personnel here right now and the injuries currently. But, Giannis is questionable. Everyone says that he does kind of take the NBA Cup a little bit seriously. He did get injured at an unfortunate time here that this could be a game where if he can't make this lineup, it might be detrimental. But the Knicks are missing Landry Shamet in this one, and OG's been out here for a little bit right now. So a little bit tough to make the call right now. I think in this one, for in general, going to have to speculate. This is the key. This is the one where everybody says, "Oh, hey, got to wait for the injuries," and this is the one where I say you should try to anticipate the injury and make the call yourself, and then at least put yourself in a position where you have a good bet. Should Giannis be in the lineup? Now, Milwaukee is just 1-5 against the spread the last 6 meetings against the Knicks, and the 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Knicks come in here off of a pair of wins over Charlotte and Brooklyn. They covered them both. The Knicks are still 8-1 at home against the spread here this season. A lot does hinge, obviously, on the appearance of Antetokounmpo. So I'm just going to come in here with the total right now, and I'm going to take this one under. Milwaukee is 2-6 to the under on the road, and even I will wait, though, to kind of analyze later the status of Antetokounmpo here and see if we can't get on the Bucks. I probably would take the Bucks here if he is in. They've struggled here against the Knicks, but that'll make it. It's still a very, very important game. Both teams are kind of in the same scenario. It's just that the Knicks are, considerable favorites, and they still have to win here by a certain amount, at least. I would guess at least minimum 8, obviously. Given the status against the Cavaliers. And if they're favored, as the Cavs are favored here, we're going to go to the next game by 5 or 6. You'd actually have to think in your head, if you're the Knicks, hey, we got to win this one by 13 or 14 minimum, actually, just to get into the next round. So there is a little bit of strategy there. You could say they don't care about it, but you certainly got to know these results. And like I said, those games are being played at the same time. All the Eastern Conference games here are being played at the same time here tonight in the NBA Cup. All right, and so I'll take the under here, but we got some comments from the gang. Let's see, and Wayne seeing, right, Wayne. So what you do here is, right, if you are interested in the Bucks, and I kind of am interested in them, right, but you can grab the 7.5 now. If you truly don't like it, you know what? You can eat the juice and get off the game. But once Antetokounmpo is ruled into the game, then you're going to be dealing with. You're going to probably get a little 1.5, 2-point bump here, there in that one. So, plus I kind of already like the Bucks a little bit in just the role here. I think they can still play. I think they can still play competitively in here. Maybe even cover this one against the Knicks without Giannis. But again, the Knicks will be hard pressed. They're going to have to, like I said, not only blow out the Bucks, but do it against a Bucks team that is obviously coming in with the exact same motivation as the Knicks, even if they are underdogs here in this game. I think it makes there is intrigue in the NBA Cup. And it pertains, I'm going to go to this game next, then I'll go to Magic and Pistons here, just because, okay, so the Hawks here are currently in, the Cavs here, like I said, are currently in position here, leading the group of second-place teams just due to point differential here currently. They are in second place. The Raptors are 4-0. The Hawks are done. They're 1-2. So the Cavaliers have all the motivation in the world. And hey, the Hawks, though, there's still a regular season game to them. So I don't know if the Cavs can really get over on these guys. It's going to be a tough enough game here. I think we've seen good play from the Hawks here, 11-8 overall. They've won 2 of their last 3. We know Cleveland's been heating up here of late and starting to turn it up, but still they've been one of the worst spread teams in the league this season. They're 5-11 against the spread as a favorite. The Hawks, meanwhile, 2-5 against the spread at home this season. They've actually played better on the road. And like I said, it's not a matter of no motivation for some of these other teams anyway. I would think the Hawks would be out here to play a pretty decent game. I might even like them here to play a little bit of spoiler, and maybe it will bring some intrigue to the tiebreaker proceedings here. Cleveland comes in with the notable injuries here. Wade's questionable, Craig Porter questionable, Hunter questionable, Garland questionable, and Sam Merrill is out of this game. Jared Allen is probable. So I think their injuries are kind of piling up here right now. I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks in this one plus the points on Friday night in the NBA Cup. Cleveland's scenario is kind of the same thing. I mean, they need to win, and they need to make sure they stay clear of the Knicks because they can only they can't win this thing. Toronto finished 4-0. So they've got to come in first place in the ranking of second place teams. They currently lead that category by 7 points in the point differential over the Knicks. So that's why I say if you got the Cavs expected to win by 6, that'll improve their point differential to close to 40. The Knicks are at plus 26. So if you're the Knicks, you got to think we have to win by 15 points minimum. All right. And but I'm taking the Hawks. So how about that? All right. And let me skip. I don't know why I kind of skipped over those games. It was just an error on the producer here, picking the wrong game at the beginning. This should have been the beginning of the rotation anyway, with Magic and Pistons here in this one. And, if anything, it might be the game of the night. Magic's starting to play pretty well here right now. They're coming in off of a win. They've improved to 11-8 now, and they're starting to pick up the pace after their slow start. I think we were kind of anticipating that Orlando would be pretty good this year, and they started kind of clunky, but they've cleaned up here at the NBA Cup. Man, imagine if they could get the money here right now. They're 3-0 coming in. The Pistons are 2-1. So talk about the teams and the rankings in the Eastern Conference, and the Pistons are actually third in that, but their best bet here is to kind of win this one over the Orlando Magic, but they would have to win it by a big margin here. I think they'd have to win this one by close to, I think, 18, 19 points in order to flip the script here a little bit. And then Orlando would actually fall into a situation where they could actually fall behind one of those two teams we just talked about. So this is pretty intriguing, certainly. And this one's certainly closely rated as well. You got two of the best teams going here of late, or at least spread-wise. No, Detroit's been awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're actually only 12-6 against the spread, despite that 15-3 record. Actually, coming in off of a loss, we saw a little bit of fail in them last time, unbelievably losing to Boston. I know a lot of people were targeting Boston in that game with Boston at home, and look, they're going up against a good Orlando team. I'm not saying it's over for Detroit here in that hot streak. I mean, they're still a team to be reckoned with here, I guess, in the East, and the way the situation is surging now. Paolo Banchero continues to be out right now. Isaac's questionable here, but it's a pretty good matchup actually for Orlando, and I don't know if I might mind taking them here in this one. I mean, yeah, maybe off of a loss here, Detroit will be all fired up to get back on the winning track here, but this is an important game for the NBA Cup, right? Orlando, though, like I said, if they lose this game and they don't lose by too much, they'll fall right into a likely first place finish in that group of three. They will kind of fall into the category there anyway, and possibly win that number one spot. So you have to keep an eye on that too here in this one. Raptors, Magic would then be 3-1 also, and the Pistons would be 3-1. So looks like Orlando can still win the first place, even with a loss here, as long as they don't get blown out by too much. So to me, that kind of takes away from the Magic's motivation a little bit here, and Detroit, needing it, if you will. So I feel like Orlando right now is playing well enough to pull off this upset. In fact, it may be that the NBA Cup actually could serve detrimental to their chances here. All right, I'm going to take the under on this one. That's bothering me a little. That's bothered me a little bit now. Look, I can't give any trends that's going to say this one's going to go under. I think because of what we're seeing possibly in the format of the tournament, I think is what's going to have me on the under in this one. Yep, Wayne's Magic team there. Wayne, you know what? If this was a regular season game right now, I'd almost say like I think my whole script here, I kind of talked it up like I wanted the Magic. And I still think this Magic surge here of late is, for real. I mean, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Clippers, I know, but beat the Warriors, remember? And then they hammered the Sixers, only losing that game to Boston. So Orlando's having their best run of the season here right now. But it's funny that they kind of can almost lose this game as long as they don't lose by too much. They're still going to get first place in the group. And I'm going to go under. I know that if you look at these two teams right now, it's been over city here, for especially for Detroit. They've gone 7-2 to the over at home right now. Orlando 3-1 to the over as an underdog. But I'm going to go under at this one at 233 and kind of portray the script as this game may end up slowing down a little bit, especially if it's a close game there, because Orlando's going to know in the back of their mind they're still, as long as they stay close, they're in the next group. And yeah, you do want to get a high matchup out of those 4 seeds, but you don't know what's going on in the other game. Nobody's going to be able to figure it out in their head. Maybe the assistant coaches could coach them along if there was some drama involved, but there probably won't be when this one's said and done. Orlando will win the group, even if they lose, ironically enough. All right. Timmy says, make sure you're calling them Motor City. And wasn't that neat today in the football game with Jack White and Kid Rock? That was really good. Did you like that one, or did you like the Post Malone show? Hey, I said I'm on the hook here. I say that in the Super. Now, a lot of people said, you should put Jack White and Eminem at the Super Bowl halftime, and that might not have been a bad call. But everyone who thinks that Bad Bunny is gonna you just watch out. I think Bad Bunny is going to be better than the last 4 or 5 shows. I think the criticism will be that maybe no one, average fan will not know the lyrics in another language. But I think Bad Bunny, I'm an old man, but I think the songs are great. I don't even know what they're saying. I think and I'm an old R&B and hip hop guy from the 70s and 80s, and I love some of those 90s and 2000s that have been doing the show too. But I think Bad Bunny is going to get probably a bad rap, especially considering the political environment. But I think if you are honest with yourself, you're going to see a pretty good performance at the Super Bowl. All right, controversial. I'm trying to make go viral here. All right, let's continue on here in the NBA Cup. We're gonna. I got one more here in the Eastern Conference. Anyway, let me take a look at this one with the 76ers. Oh, we got a couple more here actually. Man, I really screwed up the order today. 76ers and the Nets here at the NBA Cup. Both teams here are currently eliminated. The Nets are 1-2. 76ers are 0-3. So we're really just looking at this one is a regular season contest here a little bit with the 76ers. Pretty big favorite on the Nets here in this one. 76ers come in with a 9-8 mark. Brooklyn 3-14. Both teams have lost a couple of games in a row here. These two teams did meet back in November. Sixers won and covered 129-105 on the road as a 4.5 point favorite. Brooklyn just 3-5 against the spread at home. Philadelphia still a bit of a terror on the road. They are 5-1-1 currently against the spread, but 7.5 starting to flirt with a little bit of danger. Actually feels like spread-wise as good as the Sixers have been. And we know how bad the Nets have been for sure, but they did have a cover there. Remember, they upset Boston, and they beat Washington. I don't know how deep I can go with these guys here right now. They're not great. Philadelphia's 10-4-1 against the spread, last 15 against the Nets. 8 of the last 12 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Phillies won straight up 13-4, last 17 in this series here. I'll probably look to the total in this one. Brooklyn's been kind of a solid under here of late. They've gone under in 6 of their last 7. Sixers are 5-1 to the over in their last 6, but I'm going to go under here in this one with the Nets hosting the Sixers. I kind of want to take the Nets, but don't want to embarrass myself here on Night Moves. Don't want to embarrass myself here in front of Mr. Miho and Wayne as well. I mean, come on, if I come in here and try to take the Nets, but you know what? Timmy will do it for me. And you know what? I might just bet on it and not tell anybody. Maybe take the Nets, but I'm going to take the under here as my play. One more Eastern Conference game at the NBA Cup. And we've got the Bulls taking on the Hornets. Here in this one, you got the Bulls coming in here 9-8. Hornets come in here 4-14. They're kind of on an extended losing streak here right now. For the Bulls, they are toast in the tournament. They're 1-2 coming in. Hornets come in 0-3, but the Hornets are on kind of a massive losing streak here right now. They've lost 7 in a row. The Bulls own this series. Here, look, they're favored by 2.5. Here right now, the move is actually to the Hornets, but the Bulls have covered 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and Charlotte's on this losing streak here right now. For the Bulls, you do have Kobe White, he's questionable. Vooch is questionable. Dallin Terry's questionable. Herter's questionable. Flowers is questionable as well. So concerns here for sure. Okoro is out. Hornets. Connaughton, he's questionable. But other than that, pretty clean bill of health on the short-term injuries for the Charlotte Hornets here. But, man, 9 out of 10 in the series, and the Hornets have been pretty bad. 8 of the last 12 in this series have gone under. Charlotte's gone under in 10 of their last 14, but they're not going to stop the Bulls. We already see the total here at 247. I think that's going to, flirt with that thing possibly. The Bulls have been a terrible cover. I get that. They're 1-6-1 against the spread as a favorite, 3-6 on the road. But when you own a team like they own the Hornets, and the Hornets have been woeful here. I mean, not only are they not winning, they're not covering here of late. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Bulls here. I'm not saying it's too easy. It sounds like it's going to be difficult, actually. I think square-wise, you might just look at it and say, come on, the Bulls are going to crush them. So maybe the Hornets are the sharp side. It opened 3.5. It moves to 2.5. Sounds like the Sharps are coming in here with a little bit of early money anyway. But I'll just be hip to be square here. I'm just going to have to take the Bulls here on a team that they dominate and figure that the Hornets' woes continue here right now. Chicago's 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games overall, but I'll kind of lean towards series history a little bit here in the way that the Hornets have been dreadful here of late. Those are a lot of injuries for the Bulls, though, too. It feels like kind of cluster injuries here tonight. We'll see which of those guys can make the lineup. All right, let's go out west now. I think I could get back on track here a little bit. Big NBA card. We're doing a pretty good job here right now on Night Moves. Moving along here, Spurs and Nuggets. In this one, there are 5 games in the Western Conference NBA Cup playoffs here. In this one, with the Spurs and the Nuggets, you got a Spurs team here, 3-2. The Nuggets are 3-2. I would think right now that only the winner of this game is going to make it to the NBA Cup. Now, the scenario is this. The Nuggets have just a 3-point lead on the Nuggets here. They both are 2-1. It doesn't matter. They're both 2-1. But the loser would move into the pool here where Phoenix is plus 35. The Spurs are plus 23, and the Nuggets are plus 26. So better just win this game, I think, is what. Don't mess with it. I'll tell you what's going on in just a moment with the Suns and the Thunder, because there's some good action there as well. So Nuggets here, though, favored by 8.5. Yes, no Wemby. No Wemby, no problem is what a lot of people are saying here. It's not like one of those scenarios like, hey, the team's better without Wemby. Let's not get carried away here, but he's not going to be back for this game. We know that, but the Spurs have been just fine without him, beating Portland, Atlanta, Memphis, Sacramento. Now those aren't the hardest of games, no doubt, and Castle is still out as well. It was a glaring weakness there, I thought, not having Castle in there. McLaughlin also questionable here. Strother questionable. Aaron Gordon is out of this game. Brown continues to be out as well for Denver here. So, look, the Spurs just continue to be competitive even without Wemby in the lineup. Now, they are just 2-4-1 against the spread on the road, but 3-1 against the spread as an underdog. Denver's been a solid cover, 10-5 against the spread as a favorite this season, 5-3 against the spread at home here. And like I said, the motivation is just to win. The Nuggets are still favored. The Spurs will be coming at it. They have no choice but to, probably win this game, unless for some reason I think the Suns get blown out. Like I said, they held the advantage, and they're up. They could get blown out. I'm going to cover that here in just a second. So I think the Spurs with ultimate motivation here with a team that still is competitive. Yes, not having Castle may end up being the problem here in the end. The Nuggets are doing a great job, but I'm going to take the Spurs here plus these points. They'll be plenty motivated, knowing they have to win this game. Pardon me, to assure that they get into the next round. For the Nuggets here, let me just cover a little bit of series history on these two. San Antonio 4-1 ATS in the last 5 against Denver, and 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. San Antonio has gone under in 5 of their last 6, actually, and they are 1-3 to the under as an underdog. I have a feeling that if this one gets tight, I don't think it's going to be a romp in the park. And this is 237. That's pretty high, but I'm going to take the Spurs here in this one. Hey, Old Gapper's joining us today. Hello to Old Gapper. Timmy said Jokic is hitting those threes. Maybe Jamal goes nuts, and he says the Nuggets could finish this one off and get that cover. Yeah, and I think, I don't know, I think you look at the no Wemby factor, and I think a lot of people are going to drift away from the Spurs a little bit, but there's no doubt they've been winning games without him, albeit against far inferior competition. All right, and then here you go. So the Suns are taking on the Thunder. And here in the NBA Cup right now, you do have the Thunder, obviously. I mean, they win every game, right? So they are currently 3-0 at a plus 71.
Something went wrong. Please try again.
Yeah, you bet something went wrong, Siri. So the Thunder are 3-0 coming in. I didn't say that, did I? I mean, Thunder coming in here 3-0 with a plus 71 in point differential. The Suns are 3-0 with plus 35. Doesn't matter as long as the Suns win here. That that puts all that aside. They'll finish 4-0, and you'll send the Thunder. They'll still make it. Uh, the Thunder are likely through no matter what. That actually could take away from their motivation. To blow them out. I mean, we know the Suns, the Thunder blowing out teams as well as anybody in this 18-1 record right now. But the Suns have overshot their expectations. Not mine. I mean, we've been on them almost kind of from the beginning here. I know I've talked a little trash on them here recently with their problems in the front office and that whole thing, but it looks like players can make this hold up right now. Now, Oklahoma City does kind of have the series edge big time in this matchup. It's decided, actually. The Thunder have kind of owned the Suns here. Let's see. 6 straight covers for Oklahoma City over Phoenix here right now. 7 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams have gone over, but that total, in today's NBA, that 228, is that the low total? No, Brooklyn's 226, and so is the Clippers, of course, but this is a defensive game, apparently, with these two, but so look, Oklahoma City kind of has that edge here, and they don't need to blow them out necessarily. I mean, I guess by accident these guys do blow some teams out, but the Suns have been pretty terrific. Obviously, here not only so far this season, but considering their position here in the NBA Cup, but that is going to be a precarious situation. Should like I said, trying to depend on those other games between the Spurs and the Nuggets here. Like I said, the Spurs could still win their point differential, and that'll send the Nuggets back down, and they're a plus 26, and the Suns are a plus 35. So if you're the Suns, you don't want to lose it. You don't want, you obviously have to try to cover the spread or then some. Probably going to end up having to stay in this game by at least 6 points in order to feel relatively confident should you lose this game to the Thunder. So you're going to get an all-out effort here from the Suns as well just to keep it close. That could be enough motivation because the Suns have played just well enough. I'm just a little bit worried here because the line move itself is also, I believe, here so far on the Thunder. This one opened as low as 14.5 up to 15.5 right now, and that's still, you're getting a good Suns team in here. I'm going to go under in this one right now. I got to analyze that a little further, but look, the Suns are playing well. They're going to have some strong motivation. They've covered 8 of their last 10 overall here. And look, they can still get there with a loss as long as they don't lose by too many there in the depending on the outcome of the Spurs and the Nuggets. Very interesting. I'll just take the under here. I think you're going to have a tight game here, actually. Hey, Robot Glock. Robot Glock. He's turning back the clock. He's going back to Dan Marley and Hot Rod Williams. Good to see Robot Glock in the chat. All right, I'll take the under. I like that game, I'll tell you. All right, we're still out west here with the Kings and the Jazz here in this one. So these two teams are toast. They both went 0-3 so far in the NBA Cup, so we're just playing out the string in this one. And the Kings, did anybody see the controversy there with their, I don't want to say super fan, but I liked the guy. I believe what he said. I know a lot of people tried to twist this story with him, kind of getting into it with Zach LaVine, the fan that, pays good money. That guy does well for himself. He gets some good courtside seats right behind the bench, and he loves to cheer for those Kings. But when he saw Zach LaVine saying what we've always all thought about Zach LaVine playing no defense, he decided to call him out on it. Zach LaVine said, "Why don't you leave the building?" He said, "Why don't you leave the building? I'm the one paying the tickets here." and you aren't playing any defense. Well, that got Levine upset. And hey, when you challenge a man's pride, you're going to yell back. Now, probably shouldn't, you know, get too personal with an NBA player, but obviously, uh, all the eyewitnesses have come forward, and it didn't seem too profane. It just seemed like the man who, uh, he came at it like, man, this is just a sidebar of the story, but it just goes to show you what the Kings are kind of all about, too. Now, Utah does have a 4-game losing streak coming in here, and maybe the Kings are the better team here for sure. And we've seen some, good performances by Utah, but they continue to come up short right now. But they played some tough games here of late, too. Lost to Golden State, Lakers, Oklahoma City. They beat the Bulls. And against Sacramento, come on, this is a spot where you got to have them here, especially if the Kings are going to be here without. Let me check the injury report right now. Yes, Sabonis, he's out for sure here for quite a while. Schroeder, questionable here. So, yeah, I'm taking the Utah Jazz. The Kings have bigger problems than Zach LaVine playing no defense, but against Utah here in need of a win right now, I'm going to take the Jazz in this one. The Kings are a mess. The Jazz at least has shown some hope. You wish Kessler was in there, and that's obviously what's made kind of a difference here in these games here that he's been out. But you got Markkanen in there. The moves right now -2. 239 here. I don't know if the Kings are going to help that total out. All right, and let's see here. He looked like Robot Glock said. He looked like George Parliament. He looked like anybody love? I love. We're talking. The 70s R&B. I mean, I'm not just those. I was all about Parliament. All right. All right, give me the Jazz here in this one. Yeah, that was some funky stuff, man. When you're trying to be cool, where I went to school, I got some Parliament going. All right, here's the one in the NBA Cup next. Here with a little bit. So you got Memphis in here, and they certainly have they're alive. They are in there with the Lakers now. Lakers have already qualified. Memphis is going to need here. Memphis needs to win big here. Memphis needs to win by, they both do, but Memphis has a better chance of the point differential. The Lakers have already qualified. They are 3-0, and they're going to be up here against Dallas as a 10-point favorite. It's going to be hard for the Lakers to blow this situation against Dallas when they just need to win. So the winner of this game, whichever team wins this game, is going to have to win it to overcome a margin that is set forth by either like I said, either the Phoenix Suns or the Oklahoma City Thunder. And like I said, the Oklahoma City's got a massive point differential total, and they're favored. So you're really looking at a Phoenix team here, like I said, that doesn't want to get blown out. If for some reason the Suns get blown out and the Spurs get totally blown out, Memphis or the Clippers, more so Memphis, they've got the better point differential. So they actually are the one team that has a better chance of passing those teams up. But the Memphis Grizzlies would need a win somewhere in I believe, the 30-point range, and the Clippers would need it somewhere in the 40-point range. I think that's right. Without getting my calculator out here and just looking at the standings out of the corner of my eye, that's what's going to need to happen. So might just be looking at this one as a kind of, Grizzlies at Clippers regular season game. They certainly could pull it off, but both teams would need a massive victory here in the game, because Phoenix is 3-0. Phoenix and Denver are both 3-0, and these teams have one loss. So when it comes down to that tiebreaker, they need to smash. So maybe I'll just look at it from that perspective. Memphis is still just 7-12, and the Clippers are 5-13, but they both have 2 cup game wins, so they're the worst teams probably left with a chance. And Memphis is actually playing better of late here. They've won 3 of their last 4 games coming in, wins over New Orleans, Dallas, and Sacramento. They did lose to Denver. The Clippers, though, meanwhile, just got blowed out by the Lakers. They got blowed out by the Cavs. They did beat Charlotte, but lost to Orlando, lost at Philly, but did cover. Clippers are just 5-13 ATS, but Memphis is 1-10 ATS on the road. The Clippers are 2-7 ATS at home. What do you think? This is terrible, right? Maybe I'll look to the who requested a total in the Timmy. There's only 3 of us in the chat, so maybe I'll look to the total in this one. I don't think the Clippers. I mean, come on, 6.5 point favorite here in this one with Memphis coming in. Yes, Ja is still out here. But for the Clippers, let's see here. Bogdanovich is questionable. Seems like still kind of an ugly game. These 2 teams have played, poorly enough. I mean, the Clippers really have any blowout potential here at all. Memphis is 3-6 to the under on the road, but the Clippers are 11-7 to the over so far this season. All right, man, this one's pretty bad on paper here for sure, but let's see. Okay, let's see. Memphis has gone. I was checking out the series history between these 2 a little bit to see. They've gone over in 3 straight meetings. I don't think it's going to go that way in a Clippers game right now. Let me take the under here with the Grizzlies and the Clippers. Clippers are starting to get back to those underways. So far, they are an over team, but I have a feeling here we might get back to a little bit of Clipper defense eventually now that this roster is getting a little bit more settled here right now. It's Memphis. It's gone under in 11 of their last 15. Clippers are over in 6 of their last 8. You could feel me trying to take the Grizzlies here, but this game's so ugly, and we know these Clipper games have the lowest total on the board for a reason. And Ja Morant, future Clipper here, possibly, says Robot Clock. And yeah, Timmy says it, right? 226. It should be telling you all you need to know, but he still says go over now. Here, Clippers are going over so far this season. It's Memphis that's been going under. So I'm going to go under, if you know what I mean. All right, and one more here. Uh-oh. All right, the Mavericks going to take on the Lakers here in this one. And look, we've already said the Lakers are in. They're 3-0 right now. They're just trying to get a best position possible. It's going to be hard to catch the Thunder, I guess, but doesn't matter when you get down to that knockout stage, really. The Lakers here 3-0 in the NBA Cup. The Mavericks are out at this point with a 1-2 mark coming in. So there's still, like I said, still a chance. I mean, if the Grizzlies blow out the Clippers and the Lakers for some reason lose the game by, maybe 12, 15 or more points, if the Grizzlies can win by that same margin, it could flip-flop a little bit, and then that actually could leave one of these 2 teams out, depending on what the Phoenix Suns end up, how much they lose by, I guess. So a little bit of motivation here, but the Lakers never really blow these guys out. In fact, these 2 teams play a lot of unders. 8 of the last 9 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under. Dallas has actually covered 12 of the last 15 meetings against the Lakers. And look, it's been a very disappointing season for Dallas so far. We know that. And the disappointment, continues here by not having a chance to make this game. But AD questionable here. Ayton probable. Derek Lively is out of this game. Exum's out as well. But I don't know if I see I'm going to take the Dallas Mavericks here, actually, in this one, plus 10 points. Lakers just need to win this game. I think they'll do just enough. They're obviously still pretty hot right now, and they could blow them out if they needed to, but I think they can see it here. They just got to get a win here to kind of guarantee their position. They're not going to win this game by 45 points or whatever they would need to try to get the best mark. But let's see here. Dallas has gone under in 5 straight as well. Man, I like this under too, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Mavs here plus 10 points in this one. They always do pretty well. Now, granted, part of the Dallas covering 12 of the last 15 versus the Lakers was Luka on Dallas at the time and AD on the Lakers, actually. But okay. Timmy, I think he's talking about the Clipper game there. Wow, we made it all the way through the NBA Cup. Man, can you believe it? If you'll bear with me, I've selected 2 games in college basketball today. It's really we'll have plenty of time in the months to come. Robot Glock, thank you on that. Grizzlies team total there. All right. All right, I've just picked 2 games out of college. There's a lot of great college games again for Friday. Please check me out over at tonyspicks.com. I'm going to have at least 1 3-pack, maybe 2 with this card with a little bit more. There's a little bit of tournament action out there, and I'll tell you about that in just a moment as well. But let me look at this one. This one's on the regular schedule. They're playing this one at the world's most famous arena. With Illinois taking on Connecticut. Yeah, it's a bit of a home game there. There'll be Illini fans, but this is it's at the Garden, and that's kind of Connecticut territory. And you have the Huskies here coming in a 2.5-point favorite in this one. Huskies coming in 5-1. Illinois coming in here 5-1 as well. But really, it's been bad news for Connecticut. Just 1-5 against the spread so far this season. Illinois, here they really mostly played their home. I think all the games so far on their home court or neutral here so far. And they come in here just 4-3 against the spread right now. But man, Connecticut, they haven't covered, but they've been laying some big points here. They lost, of course, to Arizona, laying 6.5. They didn't cover against BYU in a 2-point win, laying 6.5. They didn't cover 33 against Columbia, but we know how good Columbia is, actually. I mean, not like they're on this level, but I mean, out of the Ivies, Columbia's been hot. And they did blast Lowell by 63 as a 36.5-point favorite for their 1 cover. They actually didn't cover, laying the big number against Bryant. So some of those, they were caught up in just laying a big number here, but still, let's hear from you if you want. And this one, good ball game here between Illinois taking on Connecticut here on Friday. All right. For the Illini here, they took on Rio Grande Valley last time out, and they were favored by 33 in that one, didn't cover. Beat LIU, handled them pretty good, actually, for a cover in that one. They lost to Alabama by 4. Pardon me here, gang. Get the right notes going here. I can continue on though right now. Beat Colgate 84-65, but they were laying 31 points in that one, and they beat Texas Tech and got the money laying 3.5. So look, for me in this one, I mean, obviously I'm not a Hurley guy, that's for sure, but I got to respect what Connecticut here has done so far this season. This one opened 1.5 and moved quickly to 2.5, but I'm going to go over in this one. I know both teams have been kind of an under so far. In fact, these two teams are a combined 4-9 to the under, but I'm going over in this one. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing with this, but I'm going to go over with Illinois and Connecticut. I know I'm bucking the trends here so far, but again, these two teams have been involved in some lopsided games. You know, the game against Alabama went for the Illinois game against Alabama, I think went for 176, I want to say. Was it 90 to 86? So I think matched up against better teams at 158 with Texas Tech for Illinois. Yeah, Connecticut and Arizona was an under, but the game against BYU did go for 170. I'm going to go over here in this one. And hello to Ransom in the chat. Nice to see you today. I'm going with the over in that one. All right. And just one more. There are some good games probably worth previewing, but we've got a big NHL card here, and we'll have plenty of college basketball every night here. And again, a lot of the games also tournament matchups here in some of them, and a lot of the lines weren't up when I was starting to get the show together there a little bit. Just still working on some of those tournament matchups. So, okay, we'll just go with this one though with Vanderbilt. And I say this is a game out of the battle for Atlantis here, but probably the second best matchup on the card here on Friday with Vanderbilt taking on the Gales in this one at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific. Got both teams coming in here undefeated. Vanderbilt at 8-0. St. Mary's coming in here at 7-0 right now. For Vanderbilt, they are 3-1 against the spread as a favorite so far this season. St. Mary's 4-2 against the spread overall. These two teams are combined 8-4 to the total here over right now. And I actually think that that's what's going to happen here. I like this one to go over as well between Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. Vanderbilt just went over in the game against VCU in a 89-74 win. They got the money there in that one. And St. Mary's coming in here off of a win against Virginia Tech, 77-66, covered 5.5 after they had failed against Arkansas State and Wichita. They did go over in that game against Arkansas State. They also went over against North Texas and over against Ohio. They've gone under in 2 straight, have the Gales, but I'm going to go over in this one with Vandy and St. Mary's. A couple of overs on Night Moves. All right. And take the yeah, you know what? Probably good call there. Maybe the Gales here. Look, they're on a roll. Both teams are obviously undefeated here right now. So, thank you, Jimmy. All right, yeah, there's a lot of good matchups in college basketball, but hey, you got to draw the line somewhere on Night Moves here. But man, saw some of these good games here today in tournament action, including. Wisconsin and TCU. We saw them last night. We saw Miami and Georgetown, BYU and Dayton tomorrow as well. Okay, NHL, I got to get to it here. We got a big card, and hopefully we can knock this out in a half an hour and send you on your way here for having a good morning and a great sports betting day, one of the best days of the year here on Black Friday. All right, NHL for Friday. And we got some early starts. And we'll get started with Tampa Bay taking on Detroit. Tampa Bay coming in here 14-7-2. Detroit 13-10-1. Still looking pretty good, even though Detroit's lost 3 of their last 4 coming in. They're coming off a 6-3 loss to Nashville. The defense is kind of going haywire a little bit here for the Red Wings. But you know what? Against the Lightning at home here, and they beat the Lightning already 2-1 this season. Detroit coming in here. Yeah, the Lightning's hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games right now, and looking pretty strong here overall. Tampa Bay really making some progress after the slow start. Starting to look like Tampa Bay here again a little bit is what it feels like. With that 14-7-2 record here right now, Tampa Bay is 5-1, last 6 on the road. Detroit's kind of owned the series though. They've won 6 of the last 8 and 4 of the last 5 at home here right now in this series. And hey, at minus $1.05, I'm going to actually take Detroit here in this one over Tampa Bay. Yeah, Detroit's had some woes here. Lost to Nashville last time out 6-3. Lost to New Jersey 4-3. Tampa's on a heater here right now with 5 straight wins, but I'm going to take the Red Wings here on Friday at minus $1.05. Let's see what Talbot and Vasilevsky in there. There've only been a couple of goalies actually confirmed here for Friday's action, so don't have for sure the matchup here, but both guys have been pretty good. We know how solid Vasilevsky's been. That's really kind of what's been going, getting Tampa Bay going here a little bit. All right, and Timothy Hawk likes this one to go under, and with good goaltenders, yeah, for sure. I would think could be right, especially with this thing at 6.5. Good call. Rangers and Bruins here for Friday. Rangers on the road. Hey, that's where they do their best work. $1.35, $1.40 or so. Still, no matter how you look at it, the Rangers are still in last place currently in the Metro Division. Good division, but still in last place. You're on the road taking on Boston here, but Rangers, that's where they do their best work, is on the road. The reason they're in last is because they can't win at home. They're 10-4-1 on the road here right now. And for Boston, second place currently in the Atlantic. They are 8-4 at home so far, and they're up 5.5 units at home. So, look, I get it. The Rangers have been terrific on the road, but Boston, you got a team that's basically in last place in their division, favored on the road against a team that's in second place in their division. I know the Metro's been a little bit more solid here than the Atlantic right now, but Boston's been playing much, much better of late. Won 2 of their last 3, beat the Kings, beat the Islanders. Rangers here, meanwhile, off consecutive wins. They just beat Carolina on the road, of course, 4-2. But I think I'd rather see this one if it was a pick'em or something. I'd probably want to go with the Rangers here, but at $1.35, I'm not sure I want to trust them here right now, despite their 10 wins on the road so far. You got a Boston team that is 12-9 as an underdog, 8-4 at home. I want to take the Boston Bruins here, actually, over the Rangers. I'm over the Rangers, if you know what I mean. Not that, they couldn't go. Maybe they are. Hey, they're not bad. They're not a last place team, I don't think, but I think eventually winning on the road has to calm down a little bit. If you were winning at home, you might be proving me a little bit wrong. But if you're only winning on the road right now, it feels like just a short time, kind of not a one-off, but and I'm not saying lucky either. I'm going to take Boston in this one. Timothy's going with me. He's going with Boston. And Timothy Hawk is, and Timmy Two Shoes is as well. Timmy think it'll be a brawl-filled game. All right, look at this one. This is the game of the day here right now with the Colorado 17-1-5, Minnesota 13-7-4, but they've been better than that right now. I mean, Minnesota, it's their turn to be the flavor of the week here. Now, Colorado's the flavor of the year. We know that. But Minnesota here right now has won 6 in a row. They've won 6 of their last 7 at home. It feels like if you're ever going to, you want to go against the Avalanche and say, this is the one, right? I mean, they can't win every single game. they're 17-1-5, but you know what I mean. Uh, could this be the spot where you're like, hey, uh, can't win them all. Minnesota's been hot enough here. Colorado's won 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two. We know Colorado's on a massive heater of 10 in a row, or what is it right now? They've won 5 of their last 6 on the road. Minnesota's gone under in 6 of their last 8 games. Colorado's gone under in 4 of their last 5 coming in. In fact, the puck line probably not even good enough price on Minnesota. I think it feels kind of like a sharp play here because this one has opened around, it stayed pretty steady here, I guess, at about $1.75. But Minnesota on the puck line is a plus 1.5 at minus 172. So I want to take Minnesota here actually in this one. I'll take them plus a goal. I'll take them plus 1 here over Colorado. I'm not going to take the full puck line. I'm going to hope if your book gives you plus 1. If not, you know what to do. You take a part money line, part plus 1.5. I'm going to say Minnesota here stays within this one. Yeah, if you want to take the puck line, lay the $1.75. Minnesota's played well enough here. This is going to be the big game of the day. Colorado coming in off the off the holiday here. Basically, they were at home for their game against the Sharks, so they did get to be at home, and now they have to go back out. They were on a road trip to Nashville and Chicago, played at home against San Jose, got to stay at home, now go right back on the road. I'm going to take Minnesota. All right, Timmy says Avalanche in regulation here, and maybe it will be Wallstedt today in goal and not Gus, so that could be there. And Wallstedt's, played pretty well. And it says Wedgwood or Blackwood, Wedgwood. Okay, I'm gonna try Minnesota here in this one, just this one time. Look at me, I'm picking against the Avalanche. All right. Florida here hosting Calgary in this one. You got Calgary here. Yeah, things have been dismal, 8-14-3, but they've won 3 out of their last 4. They are coming in here off of a loss to Tampa Bay 5-1. Florida, meanwhile, coming in off a loss to Philadelphia 4-2. They've actually lost 2 of their last 3, but Calgary's just 4-10 on the road this season. Florida's 8-4 at home. Pretty one-sided here, but I think they could actually get a puck line here. Might try one for once here with Florida over Calgary. You kind of own this series a little bit. Yeah, they only meet a couple times a year, but maybe at this price, it might actually be worth it to get a little bit of, let's see what that is. Is it a little bit of, sorry, gang, got to check out the price here a little bit in real time. All right, it's plus 140, so that's probably going to be good enough. I'm going to still go against this Calgary team with what's been going on here right now. Calgary maybe worse than Nashville. I'm not sure. Both teams are kind of dragging up the rear here in the league right now. So Calgary is just 3-11 in their last 14 on the road. They have beaten Florida actually in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams overall, but they played so poorly this year for sure. Florida is 5-15 on the puck line, and Calgary is 12-9 on the puck line. 13 of the last 20 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Calgary's gone over in 5 of their last 6. Florida's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Yeah, you know what? Let's take the over, and I'm gonna uh, throw a veto on this one. I'm gonna swerve a little bit, and I'm gonna take the over in this one between Calgary and Florida. It is 5.5 over at minus $1.20, and I'll tell you what, the 5.5s have been going under here a little bit. I'm seeing some sixes out there though as well. I see one offshore book 6 under 14, so I'm going to go with the over in this one. All right, thank you. Timmy's with me on that one. All right, the Devils are on the road here, taking on the Sabres. New Jersey 15-7-1 coming in. Buffalo 9-10-4. New Jersey's won 2 straight here over St. Louis. And Detroit Buffalo has won 2 of their last 3, although they're coming in off of a loss to Pittsburgh. New Jersey just 6-7 straight up on the road. Buffalo 6-4 at home so far this season. New Jersey's beaten Buffalo in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone over, and 11 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams have gone over here in Buffalo. I think New Jersey is apt to score a lot of goals in this game, and they've scored 10 goals in their last 3 games right now. Buffalo, they've been kind of hot and cold for sure of late, but they've lost 10 of their last 15 overall right now. And New Jersey now at an impressive 15-7-1. I'm going to take New Jersey here at this price. They should be able to put the goals up here. It feels like on Buffalo, though, in this one is Pekka Luukkonen in there expected here for Buffalo. 2.72 goals against Markstrom. We know he hasn't been great. 3.56 goals against, and still a 7-3-1 record because he gets a lot of support when he's in there. New Jersey, remember, they beat Chicago 9-3. They beat Carolina. I'm sorry, those Buffalo beat Chicago 9-3, beat Carolina 4-1. I'm going to take New Jersey still at this one. $1.15. Give me New Jersey. All right, let's see here. Sabres for Timothy Hawk. And there's Jermaine tonight. Hi, Jermaine. Good to see you. All right. Hey, we're making some progress here. We're almost done with the show. 10 more games to go. And, hey, we're coming right here to Las Vegas with the Canadiens taking on the Golden Knights here on Friday. Got Montreal coming in here 12-7-3. Golden Knights are 10-5-8 right now. 3 straight losses for the Golden Knights coming into this one. Meanwhile, Montreal's won 2 straight wins over Utah and Toronto. Meanwhile, for BGK, they lost to Anaheim, they lost to Utah, and they lost to Ottawa. So things are starting to go a little bit south here for the Golden Knights of late. Sam Montembeault is confirmed in goal here for the Canadiens. They've had Dobish in there in both of their wins, so Montembeault comes in here. Hasn't been great this year, 4-5-1 with 3.71 goals against. He's 0-4 in his last 4 games, allowing 12 goals on 52 shots for just an 81.5% save percentage. Golden Knights, who haven't won in their last 3 games, really 0-1-2 overall, but Akira Schmid is 9-1-4 so far this season with a 2.47 goals against average here. Look, we've seen some overs with these two teams for sure, but I'm not so sure in this one. Montreal has been a massive over here of late. 8-1 to the over as an underdog, and they've been on an over tear here, as like we've talked about with these Canadian teams. Canadian teams meaning Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal. They've all been going over massively here of late. So when you're taking on a VGK team here that's 11-8 to the over at home, maybe it will go over here actually between these two. I'll go ahead and go one more time on the over. The old algorithm here is telling me under, but I'm going to go with another eye test game here for me, especially if it's 6 under 15 there. Montreal's gone over in 13 of their last 14 games. 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone over. I'm going to go over in this one on Friday night. Timothy's with me here as an over. Jermaine's on the over too. So I was just watching what you guys were saying. And Timmy says Barbashev over. Speaking of the Vancouver Canucks, they're taking on the Sharks here on Friday. You got Vancouver, just a slight favorite on the road, $1.15 total, 6.5 here in this one. Vancouver's lost 3 of their last 4, but they are coming in off a win over Anaheim, 5-4 on the road. They're 7-5 on the road so far this season. Cholopilo in there. He won the first game for him there, although I did give up, I think, 4 goals in that one, but they got the win. Askarov here, 8-6-1 with a 3.02 goals against and a 90.5% save percentage coming in. Vancouver, 5-1 to the over as a favorite, 18-6 to the over overall. Now the Sharks do trend a little bit under for sure, but in this series with Vancouver, 12 of the last 16 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Now Sharks have gone under in 7 of their last 8 at home, but Vancouver 12-1 to the over in their last 13, 7 straight overs on the road right now. Vancouver's won 5 straight games against the Sharks, but we know we're dealing with a little bit of different Sharks here right now. So, all right, I got to make a call there in this one, and I'm going to take Vancouver to win on the road here in this one over the Sharks. Look, I've been loving what the Sharks have been doing this year, but I'm going to take Vancouver here. They've owned the Sharks in this series. Last 5 outscored them in those games, 19-11 there. So I'm going to go with Canucks in this one. All right, and Jermaine likes the over in this one. And Jimmy says they gotta go with the Sharks. I mean, he says, who is Cholopilo? He's 1-0 with a 4.0 goals against. And Timothy Hawk says take the Sharks in this one. All right. Sharks are the call in the chat. I went with Vancouver. All right, the Senators are on the road here. A lot of these games are at 4 Eastern. That's why you're seeing all these different, you got the Sharks play at the same time as the Sabres and the Blues, but there's a big window here of games at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific here on Friday. So you got the Senators here taking on the Blues. In this one, Senators on the road favored. They're 12-7-4. St. Louis comes in here 7-10-7 right now, and they've lost 4 of their last 5 coming in. Ottawa 6-2-2 in their last 10 games overall. St. Louis just 2-9 as a favorite. They're not favored anymore, right? Or are they? You know what? It's either a pick'em or the Senators are a slight favorite here right now. So Senators are 5-2 to the over as an underdog. St. Louis is 8-3 to the over as a favorite coming into this one for Ottawa here. They've won 6 of their last 9. They're only 4-10 last 14 against St. Louis overall, but St. Louis struggling, just 1-6 in their last 7 overall, 2-7 in their last 9 games at home. 5 straight meetings between these two teams have gone under, and St. Louis, despite going over 6 of their last 10, they've actually gone under in 6 straight games. So don't even know how to read my own notes right there. Ottawa's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games on the road as well. I got to go under in this one between Ottawa and St. Louis. Give me the under for sure here at 5. I know it's 5.5, but it is interesting that Ottawa goes under as an underdog, but they are actually a favorite. So, all right, I think that makes sense then, right? If they've turned into a favorite, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I just talked myself into it, at least. Jimmy says, man, this is an under. Okay. You guys see it like I do there. Yeah, I mean, the Ottawa game against Vegas, was 4-3. Ottawa got the win, and then St. Louis, so here, they've gone under in a bunch in a row. So it was 3-2 against New Jersey in the loss, 3-2 against the Rangers in the loss. They beat the Islanders 2-1, lost to Philly 3-2, lost to Toronto 3-2. I have a feeling the score is going to be 3-2 again. All right, another one at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific here out west is the Kings and the Ducks renewing their Southern California freeway. What are they? Freeway face-off. Yeah, freeway face-off. I think they are calling it nowadays. Got the Kings coming in here off of a win to snap their 3-game losing streak, beating Ottawa 2-1. The Ducks, meanwhile, coming in off of a home loss to Vancouver 5-4. Kings are pretty hot here. They're one of those teams that have played well on the road. Now, granted, we're just going over to Anaheim here in this one, and it doesn't matter where this game is being played. The Kings have owned the Ducks. Certainly the Ducks are different this year. They've definitely turned it around here right now. I mean, hey, all you got to do is look in the standings right now. It's Anaheim in first. The Kings are in second. The Kings have still owned the series, no matter how you look at it, but Anaheim's up already almost 5 units at home this season. Now, if you look at the series history between these two, it is all Kings. No Kings? No, all Kings in this series. The Kings come in here having won 12 of the last 14 games between these two teams, and also 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Anaheim just 1-7 at home last 8 games against the Kings here. Teams did meet already, I think, once this season. It was the Kings winning it 5-4. But Anaheim, again, just a different team so far this season at 14-8-1. Kings still, they play these close games. They're actually 9-2-3 on the road, but the Ducks are 8-3 at home. So I got to go under in this one. I'm going to go under 6 goals with the Kings and the Ducks today. Might be too close to call, but again, series history belongs to LA big time. But remember, this Anaheim team's in first place with this huge turnaround right now. They're already up over 6.5 units this season. Timothy says take Kings and the Ducks over. Timmy Chushu wants to play the Ducks. All right. Let's keep it moving. We got more game. We're nowhere close to being done. We got to go to the nighttime action here. Oh, no, I got one more at the 4 o'clock window here with the Flyers taking on the Isles. Got the Isles here, $1.35 or so up against Philly here. Islanders come in 13-9-2. Philly's 12-7-3 right now. Phillies won 3 of their last 4 games coming in. They beat Florida last time out 4-2. Lost to Tampa 3-0. Beat New Jersey 6-3. Islanders, meanwhile, coming in off of a loss to Boston 3-1. They did beat Seattle at home 1-0, but lost to St. Louis 2-1. But look, Flyers here 6-2-2 in their last 10 games overall. The Islanders are 7-10. 7-3 in their last 10 games coming into this one. Philadelphia has gone just 6-14 in their last 20 games against the Islanders overall. Islanders have gone under in 7 straight games coming into this one, despite the fact that, maybe they're been a little bit of an over team as a favorite, but I just have to think you got to go under here in this one. I know it's 5.5, but give me the under here with the Flyers and the Islanders here. Seeing Vladar and Sorokin here, I don't think we have it confirmed yet, but either way, I'm probably going to look to the under here in this one. Sorokin, 2.7 goals against. Vladar, 2.39 goals against, 91.5% save percentage. I'm going under with the Flyers and the Islanders at 5.5 at even money. And Timothy's with me here. And Timmy says he's got Horvat for an anytime goal. Jermaine is on the Flyers. Leafs taking on the Caps. Here you got the Caps, $1.45 at home. They're 13-9-2 this season. Toronto's 10-10-3. They've lost 2 of their last 3. They, have been working their way back up here a little bit, but up against this Caps team that's certainly been inconsistent right now, but they're starting to heat up, having won 4 of their last 5. They're coming in off that win against Winnipeg, of course. We saw Ovechkin with another milestone, or that was a neat trophy they had, or that neat thing they had with the melted ice in there. What was that? Anyway, the Caps are starting to heat up here a little bit. They've been real hot here of late, actually, winning 4 of their last 5 coming in with wins over Winnipeg and Columbus. They did lose to Tampa Bay. They beat Montreal and Edmonton here as part of this streak. Look, Toronto just 2-6 on the road, 0-5 as an underdog here. Now, Capitals are still a favorite, but Toronto, they haven't done poorly in this series, and I don't know. It feels like Washington, once they get going again here, it might be starting time to get on them a little bit. But they've lost 5 of the last 6 overall to Toronto at home, and Toronto's won 9 of the last 12 between these two. So maybe you want to give the Leafs a chance here in this one at this price. But, man, the Leafs have lost 7 of their last 9 here right now. Toronto's gone over in 4 of their last 5. Washington's gone over in 4 of their last 5. And Toronto's 4-1 to the over as a dog. I'm going to take the over in this one with the Leafs and the Capitals. Man, the price might be good enough for the Leafs, actually, despite, like I said, Washington starting to get hot here again, and they needed to, because they actually fell into a little bit of a slump. They're still 13-9-2, so there's no problem with the Capitals. Timothy's going with the under here. We disagreed for once. We were all over it, but Jermaine and I are on the over here. And Timmy says, yeah, you know what Timmy does. That's what it seems like. And whatever reason, they seem to overlook these guys a little bit. Okay, we're almost to the finish, gang. Thank you very much. 2 hours of fun here. Jets and Hurricanes in this one. And, well, this ain't a great matchup, it feels like, for the Jets. They're still 12-10 overall. It's just they've lost 3 in a row right now. And you're wondering what's happened here a little bit. But look, they played Carolina, Minnesota, and Washington. 3 teams that are, definitely have the up arrow going, it feels like, right now. Meanwhile, Carolina losses to Buffalo 4-1 last time out. They lost to the Rangers at home 4-2. They actually have lost 3 of their last 4 games coming in. So, look, I know the Hurricanes are probably the much better team, but Winnipeg still, they've got still a decent record here right now. They're 3-1 as a puck line dog. They're usually favored. They're rarely in this role. I'm going to take the Jets here on the puck line in this one. Yeah, you got to lay $1.40, but give me the Jets here plus 1.5 at minus $1.40 here in this one. I think still might be overlooked a little bit. I know Freddie in there. If he's in there, Freddie with a 3.07 goals against, 87.5% save percentage. Comrie's got a 3.01 goals against, 4-4 record so far. We'll see who's in there tomorrow, but or today. But I'm gonna take the Jets on the puck line here. Timmy says you gotta take them here at this price. Jermaine says you could get the price down by taking Carolina in regulation. And yeah, Comrie's not the best out there for sure, but all right, just a couple more. I know we're starting to speed up here a little bit. Penguins and Blue Jackets here. We're into the 7 o'clock. We're into the night games here now with the Penguins on the road here. They're 11-6-5. Columbus, meanwhile, 11-9-4, but they've lost 3 in a row all of a sudden. Have the Blue Jackets. They lost to Toronto, Washington, and Detroit. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's in here off of a win over Buffalo to snap a 2-game losing streak here. Columbus 6-0 as a favorite so far this season. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, they are 6-7 as an underdog. It's not terrible. They're actually 11-2 as a puck line dog, but you got to lay over $2 here to get that puck line. But Columbus comes in here 3-7 to the under at home so far this season. But I'm going to have to think that this spot for Columbus here is where you want to go. Greaves is 7-4-4. With a 2.73 goals against. Yari, a 6-2, 2.52 goals against here. And the price might not be the best, but I got to take the Blue Jackets here to stay undefeated at home as a favorite this season. Give me Columbus at $1.35 in this one. Blue Jackets for Timothy. And he also likes the over here. Yeah, you know what? I think I think I might be, you might be the contrarian one because it might be a little square here between these two. But 5 straight meetings between the two teams have gone over, but Pittsburgh's gone under in 7 straight games right now, and Columbus has gone under in 7 of 10 at home. So I think I was looking to the under, though, actually. But I'll take Columbus as my official play here on the show. All right, the Predators are taking on the Blackhawks here, and the Predators come in 7-12-4. Chicago, 10-8-5. But the Blackhawks have lost 4 straight. Not throwing up the panic flag here just yet. They did lose to Minnesota and Colorado by just 1 goal in the last 2 games. Yeah, they had that outlier losing to Buffalo, giving up 9 goals, and they lost to Seattle here. But you still got a Nashville team here that's 4-13 straight up as a dog, 2-5 straight up on the road. Meanwhile, Chicago is 5-4 at home this season. I think this price is probably just low enough to get me involved. It feels like the Predators are on the sharp side, and I might be square here to take the Blackhawks. In fact, the Capitals have been moved to a favorite at a few spots here. I'm on the Blackhawks in this one. like I said, I mean, you got a team that has a far worse record here in Nashville, maybe even a slight favorite. Maybe the line is trying to tell you something here. Maybe that this Chicago team has not been playing very well here of late with the 4-game losing streak here right now, but I'm going to go ahead and take them here against the Predators in this one. Chicago is 2-8 to the under, and they're, let me make sure I get these right. Chicago is 4-6 to the 2-4 to the under in their last 6 games against Nashville here. So I'm going to go with the Blackhawks in this one. Give me the Blackhawks. I might be running. We're down to the last game. I think I've kind of lost my train of thought here on the last couple of games here with so many NHL games, but I think we'll be all right. If Jermaine's on the under here, I might be on the under. All right. And Timmy says the Preds maybe overachieved. They've been bad all season. So even when they win a game, it's still not a woeful record here at this point. Only 5 games under 500 technically, but all right, we got one more game. One more here with the Mammoth on the road, taking on the Stars, Utah, 12-9-3. But Dallas has been really good here, and they're 15-5-3 right now, looking strong, and $1.35 favorite, of course. But right now, they're in a good roll here of late, having won 8 of their last 10, 5 of their last 7 at home. Utah has actually lost 5 straight on the road. We used to say how good they were, how solid they were, but Dallas has won 11 of the last 12 or 10 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams. Utah is starting to struggle here a little bit. They did beat the Rangers and beat GK before losing to Montreal last time out, but that Vegas game was a short revenge there on them. And no, Dallas is solid here right now. 11-7 is a favorite this year, one of the best records in the league here currently, and only $1.35 right now. And there we go. Let me fix the graphic here. Make sure. Only $1.35 right now. I got to take the Stars to continue here, and I'll lay it at $1.35 in this one. Stars should win. Maybe even go -1 here in this one if you want get a little extra. Sprinkle a little -1 or so, and I'll take the Stars to win here over the Mammoth. Mammoth have gone under in 5 of their last 7 and 7 of their last 10. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under, and Dallas has gone under in 4 of their last 5. I'll still take the Stars here, but all right. Timmy says Heinz is on a streak here. He's on fire. Timmy says it as well. The show is over, folks. Thank you so much. It's been more than 2 hours with me here talking sports and sports betting on Night Moves. We'll be back tomorrow here late night to 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific time with more Night Moves. Get you ready for the Saturday college football action, more in the NHL, NBA, college basketball. Big weekend of sports betting. Thank you for joining me here on the show. Don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Check me out over there, and check out DeAndre as well. Wasn't he terrific with the football plays yesterday? Gave us a clean sweep on the show. You didn't even have to, but hey, subscribe over there with me, with DeAndre. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and then get signed up. You see the leaderboard here from yesterday, and hey, I get to take my turn here somewhere near the top there yesterday. Well, not on this leaderboard. Let me find another leaderboard here where I can. There it is, 9-4. This leaderboard anyway. 9-4 there yesterday for me. Went 7-2 with some NFL props. Had some college basketball in there, and I'll be knee deep in college basketball here on Saturday as well. So check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com and use that promo code Tony T at checkout. That'll save you 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Friday. So check me out over at tonyspicks.com. Really appreciate you being with me here on Night Moves. There we go. And that's going to do it. For tonyspicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.